Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJH TV News.
An anti-Semitic shooter kills 11 and injures 6. What people are saying on Twitter to lend a hand.
Plus, how local synagogues honor those who lost their lives in the shooting.
Thanks for joining us here on KUJH News. I'm Malik Jackson.
And I'm Keely McCormick, filling in for Ksenia Kachigina. A shooting over the weekend left 11 people dead and 6 injured at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Police got reports of shots fired in the middle of Saturday's service. The suspected gunman is 46-year-old Robert Bowers. CNN said Bowers made multiple anti-Semitic posts on social media in the past.
He is now in custody and charged with 29 felony counts, including 11 counts of obstruction of exercising of religious beliefs. KUJH News reporter Grant DeMars spoke with members of the Chabad KU and at the Chabad at KU, the Jewish community here in Lawrence, and they're resilient.
Jewish organizations at KU joined forces to hold a prayer vigil last night in honor of those involved in the Pittsburgh shooting on Saturday. And while the weekend was filled with emotions, fear was not one of them.
The Jews don't run and Jews don't hide. When such a thing happens, we know we have to channel the tears into action.
Members of Chabad at KU set up a table on Wesco Beach today with one message in mind: love will always win.
We're stronger than hate. No one should be hated on.
The group has found several ways to cope in this emotional time. One way is through mitzvah, which means commandment. They write a pledge to do a good deed on this board to bring more light to the world. They also handed out arc-shaped piggy banks and encouraged people to fill them up with spare change and donate it to someone in need. The group is standing up to hate in another way by hanging mezuzah scrolls like this on their doors.
A beautiful Jewish tradition to place on our doorpost a scroll. And it's a biblical commandment, and that scroll reminds us of who we are and what our mandate is to make this world a better place.
And making the world a better place can start with a simple task.
Find a way to bring more light into this world. Maybe it's a tradition, maybe it's smiling to a stranger, maybe it's being there for another person. But if we work together, we could change the world for good.
On the KU campus, Grant DeMars, KUJH News.
Chabad at KU plans on writing and sending letters of love to in Pittsburgh this week. The Lawrence Jewish community says the shooting leaves them feeling vulnerable and anxious. Their board president says this type of tragedy can happen anywhere to anyone. He adds he thinks it is a shame that this type of hate has become a part of life in America today. He says that this hits a little too close to home, as there are members of the Lawrence Jewish community who were in Pittsburgh at the time of the shooting.
One of our board members is in Pittsburgh now, settling the affairs of her mother's estate, and was actually at that synagogue the night before. So that was especially rattling for her and her family, and brought it home to us as well.
He says their board met to ensure that they are doing everything they can to keep their communities safe.
The suspected shooter frequently used social media to voice his anti-Semitic opinions. KUJH News reporter Cassidy Ragland joins us in the studio now. Cassidy, how has social media played a part in what happened in Pittsburgh?
Keely, one of the things to come out from the story is the app Gab and their views on what is considered freedom of speech and what some people may consider hate speech.
Before the shooting, Bowers posted, "HIAS likes to bring invaders in that kill our people. I can't sit by and watch my people get slaughtered. Screw your optics, I'm going in." After the shooting, Gab's hosting provider took it offline. It is now looking for a new hosting provider and claims it is under attack and will continue to fight for free speech. More than 800 miles away at KU, a member of the Jewish community, Hannah Finch, says she worries something like that could happen here.
Like, in America, we have a freedom of religion, and if we have to fear for our lives in our place of worship, then it's not a freedom anymore. In our government, a lot of the things being said by them is being said on Twitter and on Facebook, and like a lot of people read only one side of an argument and build their opinion off of that.
The online community is obviously using the tragedy to encourage people to get out and vote next week on which candidates support their view on gun control.
Bowers had his first court appearance this afternoon and will remain in custody without bail until his preliminary hearing Thursday. The shooting is being investigated as a hate crime. In the studio, Cassidy Ragland, KUJH News.
Some are calling once again for stricter gun laws after the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, but voting patterns show they might not get their way. A recent study from KU Political Science shows that gun owners have increasingly become more politically active. The numbers show 12% more gun owners than non-gun owners are likely to vote in the upcoming elections. It says it's because more people consider guns as part of their identity and are willing to stand up for their interests. KU law student Sam Klassen is one of them.
It's a lot of fun to go shooting. I feel like that's one of the few liberties that the U.S. has compared to many other countries, which they would argue is why there's less school shootings.
It also found gun control advocates tend to lose steam after mass shootings, but gun owners are mobilizing people year-round.
It's been a nice day so far, a nice week too, Keely, but I heard there might be some chances of rain coming soon.
Weather anchor Warren Sears joins us now. Warren, when can we expect the rain to move in?
Hey guys, not this evening, so there's some good news there. It's going to be a gorgeous evening here in Lawrence. I do have some bad news for you. Tomorrow we could see some light spotty showers, but currently out there, gorgeous day, 72 degrees here in Lawrence. I'm seeing mostly sunny skies. It's just a nice fall day out there today, but it's not so nice here in the studio. It's about 30 degrees. I think I'm a little chilly in here today. 10 to 15 mile per hour winds gusting up to 20. Let's take a look at that drought monitor. This was as of last Thursday. We're doing pretty well. Some abnormally dry areas here in northeastern Kansas and some moderate drought. But all in all, from where we've been, it is a great improvement. So what we can expect, a nice breezy Monday for your evening, this evening today. Rain chances do return to the forecast. And how's that Halloween forecast going to be? Are we going to be able to get spooky? I'll have a much more detailed forecast for you coming up.
The Office of Multicultural Affairs is offering advanced voting here on campus starting today until Friday. Anyone who is registered in Douglas County can vote with a photo ID and a KU ID. This is going on all this week, starting at 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. at the Multicultural Affairs Office. Early voting in Kansas ends next Monday, November 5th. And still to come on KUJH News, an annual book sale rallies people around Lawrence.
I like watching the books.
Coming up, how the sales are helping the Lawrence Public Library.
Plus, the Chiefs are 7-1, and after yesterday's W, I'll have the highlights from that game coming up. KUJH News will be right back.
Hi.
Hi. Patience. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Jessica, we need to leave right now. I need to get something. Dance recitals are so boring. There's a meeting no one knows. Waiting to be set
So
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on. I was born to be somebody.
Over the weekend, book lovers filled the back of the Lawrence Public Library for unbeatable deals.
KUJH News reporter Jasmine Keys says average sales for the book sale are about $22,000, and that's a lot when items sell for $1 or $2.
Best deal in town.
The Friends of Lawrence Public Library often say you can never have too many books, especially when they're a good deal. Anna Marie Hill serves as chair for the group, but she is also a customer.
Oh yes, I have more than I can read in my lifetime, and yes, I do keep buying more from here as well. A little bit of an addict there.
200 volunteers moved actual mountains of those books, 68,000 to be exact, to make this sale happen. Those donations also included CDs, DVDs, audiobooks, vinyl, puzzles, and games. Chairperson of book sales Anna Marie Hill says the hard work paid off.
I like watching the books disappear off the shelves. I love reading myself, and so it makes me happy to think that lots of people will be able to use books in really excellent condition.
The book sale even brought families from out of town to find that special book for their newborn.
Normally we live in Topeka, so we went to the one there, and this one has a lot more books.
It's bigger, yeah.
Teachers with USD 497, they can come in and get anything that's on the shelves for free. So we try to get a lot of the books to go out that way. If there are books still on the shelves that we don't think we can sell at the next sale, and we'll recycle those with KU and CLO.
And after all the books are purchased, this is where they come to dump the boxes.
The book gets additional life, and a lot of times you
The
buy a
book sale
book and
even
then
brought families from out of
you
town
read
to
it,
find
and
that
then
special book for their
you throw it away or something, and this is a good way to
Hey, good Monday afternoon. Gorgeous day here in Lawrence. I kind of feel like we're getting away with something here in late October. 72 degrees, just a nice fall day out there. A little bit on the breezy side, 10 to 15, gusting up to 20. A couple of nice fall foliage pictures before they're gone here in the next few weeks. A couple KU students sent these in to me. Anna P, just a gorgeous view of her street outside of her house there. Same thing for Andrew B. And then, of course, me, I sent them to myself. Just another nice picture of the fall foliage down in the neighborhood behind the University of Kansas. All in all, I'm just really enjoying it. It's been gorgeous here. In the next few weeks, though, start to see a lot of those leaves begin to fall. For your evening today, 65 degrees at 6. We cool off into the upper 50s overnight tonight, and we reintroduce a chance for some showers. This will continue through the day tomorrow. We'll see an increase of clouds, and then that chance will go to about a 50% chance for just some off and on spotty showers for your day on Tuesday. That is because of a weak cold front that we'll see that will try and kind of slide its way down. It'll definitely take its time. This is tomorrow morning. You can see this little bit of a temperature gradient here. We'll have some southerly flow on this side and then some cooler northerly flow on the back side of that cold front. Now this is a model tomorrow at 8 a.m. You can just see these spotty showers. And as we head on through the day tomorrow, it just kind of persists in that spotty pattern, just continues through the evening tomorrow. When it's all said and done, I think we could pick up anywhere from a trace out to our west to about a quarter, just over a quarter of an inch for us here in northeast Kansas. Your spooky forecast. We're not going to see rain for your Wednesday, I don't think, but we will see mostly cloudy skies. 60 degrees for your high in the afternoon, but for trick-or-treating, all of you college trick-or-treaters out there, it'll be about 50 degrees in the evening for that. So not too bad, just a little bit on the cool side. So spotty showers for your Tuesday. We cool off a little bit. Like I said, that weak cold front lasts into the late part of late this week. 58 degrees for your Thursday, but we will see mostly sunny skies. But let's take a look at some of those nighttime lows, dipping into the low 30s, especially on the nights where we won't see much in the form of cloud coverage. Then some clouds reintroduce themselves into the area for your weekend. I'm thinking it's not going to be too terribly cold. Temperatures kind of right around average for this time of year in the mid-50s, looking like a nice weekend for some sports.
Coming up after the break, I'll be back to talk about the Chiefs game yesterday and how they celebrated after the defeat of their rival, the Broncos. Plus, women's soccer, the low-scoring game and outcome of the Big 12 Championship quarterfinals. Stay tuned.
I want some more.
What's he doing?
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? He has asked for more!
Thank you.
Well, he did say please. Yes, he did. And thank you.
Please, and thank you. Pass it on.
Thank you.
Kansas City Chiefs are continuing to break records. Patrick Mahomes became the first player to throw at least 4 touchdowns in 3 straight games since Peyton Manning in 2004. Mahomes has 26 touchdown passes through 8 games this season, and he's only 4 away from tying for the Chiefs' all-time single-season record, set by Len Dawson in 1964. This was the Chiefs' 7th consecutive win over the Denver Broncos with a final score 30-23. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill strained his groin during the game but was still able to get in the spooky spirit by sporting a blow-up sumo wrestler costume after the win. And not to move away from sports, but I mean, who wore it better, Tyreek Hill or me? I'm no fashion guru, but I think it was me. Next up, the Chiefs head to Cleveland to take on the Browns on Sunday. Kickoff is set for noon. Exciting plays were happening inside Memorial Stadium Saturday as the Jayhawks took on the TCU Horned Frogs. Senior quarterback Peyton Bender threw a season high of 249 yards. He completed 65.5% of his 29 passes, 2 of which went to Puka Williams. With 58 seconds left on the clock, TCU fumbled the ball at KU's 6-yard line, clinching the win for the Jayhawks with a final score of 27-26. This is the first time that KU has reached 3 victories in a season since 2004, and the win broke the Jayhawks' 14-game losing streak against Big 12 teams, which was nationally the longest active conference streak. This was KU's first conference win since November of 2016 when Kansas beat Texas. We'll see if the winning momentum carries on into the next game Saturday against the Iowa State Cyclones. Kickoff is set for 11 a.m. at Memorial Stadium. The women's soccer team went into double overtime against Texas Longhorns in the Big 12 Championship quarterfinals last night after 110 minutes without a goal for either side. Texas and Kansas went into a penalty kick shootout, and the Longhorns ended up prevailing 3-1 against the Hawks. KU's record dropped 11-5-3 on the season. The Jayhawks are now hoping for a bid to the 2018 NCAA D1 Women's Soccer Championship. The bracket will be announced on November 5th. With KU basketball season underway, the truly dedicated fans know that the lottery is their best way to get the best seats in-house. Students arrive at the field house in their camping groups to draw from hundreds of numbered poker chips. Groups of up to 30 people can get 6 chances to draw the lowest number. That number determines their spot in camping.
They're willing to wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning to go to Allen Fieldhouse and get a spot for camping for men's basketball when they have classes later on in the day and they're not able to get up at 8 or 9 o'clock.
The next lottery is this Friday for the game against Michigan State. If you're going to make sure you get there early because they will lock the doors right at 6 a.m.
Well, that's unfortunate. Have you ever done the lottery before?
I have. It's a fun time.
Is it? Would you recommend it?
I would. It gets you good seats.
There we go. Lastly, today, marathon runners in Venice expecting to compete on land were met with a bit of a surprise. Athletes in last weekend's marathon unexpectedly found their feet underwater. It turns out the race was at the same time as high tide. The ocean rose up to ankle level, and one runner says it was as if there was a sea in front of him. But the conditions didn't stop the runners as they continued the race. I like that.
That's dedication.
Perseverance.
I don't know if I could do it.
Could you do it, Warren?
Can you imagine how hard it is just to run a marathon and then let alone
and then
an
ankle,
you might as well just turn it into like a triathlon at that point. I don't know.
Might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Weather.
Yeah, let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast for you here. It looks like an okay week. We have a few rain chances. Tuesday, especially tomorrow, thinking about a 50% chance for some spotty showers. Then we dry out midweek. Temperatures do fall into the mid to upper 50s for a majority of your week. All in all, it kind of just looks like an average, late October, early November week. It looks okay. This weekend we do have another increase in some cloud coverage and then another chance for some rain on Saturday. Looking like Sunday especially, some AM showers for your Sunday. All in all, hey, not too bad of a weekend.
Good to hear. That's KUJH News for Monday. Thanks for joining us.
Check us out here Wednesday at 4 for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Have a great evening.